see, whether it was Tanner and Yvonne that Alexis, just to kind of see these guys redeem themselves tonight. Someone like Max Muncy, who's found his stride offensively. Just for them to have a performance in a big game, a big win like this, just how encouraging is that for you and for them?
Very encouraging. I think that you look at what our pen did tonight, covering those valuable innings, really with no margin. And obviously you mentioned Max and how he's been going through it, the first 6 weeks of the season offensively, and then really has hit his stride the last 30 plus days, and he's playing as well as anybody in the batter's box. And so it's really good to see huge hits, certainly tonight and before, but we needed every bit of it, and it's good to see the resilience from a lot of our guys.
With Kershaw today, what did you see just from him, whether it was missing, you felt like the curveball wasn't there, just what were you seeing?
Well, I think certainly you just don't see the misses with the curveball like you saw tonight. I think there was one good one to a left-handed hitter in the middle of a count, but outside of that, there's a lot of non-competitive curveballs, which is very uncharacteristic of Clayton. I just think that the descriptor, the teethiness of the slider just isn't there right now, and it's still been 3+ starts. So to get the feel of it, it's going to come, but right now it's just when you're getting count leverage. I know he's frustrated because he's getting count leverage with guys and can't put them away by way of strikeout. So he's competing his tail off, and but it just hasn't been as easy as it has been for him in prior to this little stretch. So he's going to keep working and keep competing, and we're going to obviously keep running him out there.
What does it show you about Max that he can bounce back from that error in the fifth with that swing in the ninth?
It's he's had to go through some adversities, and it certainly hasn't been linear for him as far as whether it be the defense or the droughts offensively and kind of hearing noise from the outside. But he's built a nice hard shell in the sense of just really trying to put his head down and keep the blinders on and try to focus on whatever situation is at hand at the moment. And for him to respond that way and to block out, the error that he made in that fifth inning was big. And to play in this market on this ball club, you have to be able to kind of, weather some of those storms and keep going.
I know you guys were expecting the bat to come around, but have you been surprised just how quickly he's gotten back to this point over the last couple of weeks?
I mean, I think how they've come in bunches, maybe a little surprised, but I was certain that the swing that he was kind of working on, and I was seeing from the open angle from the third base dugout, I really liked what I had seen, and I said that there was going to be some slug coming, and I didn't know how many homers he was going to hit, but I just like his at-bat quality, and so now you look at the stat line, it's all lining up the way that it should, and he's really playing some good baseball.
His ability to kind of weather that and also weather the slow start, is that something just byproduct of how long he's kind of played this market, like you alluded to, or like what sort of allowed him to be able to sort of do that length spiral?
I think, honestly, he's had plenty of practice weathering some struggles offensively. It's certainly not easy to go in a 1 for 20, 1 for 25, and strike out and things like that, and to sort of go out there and play defense and then find a way to get hot and to kind of reset, get back on track. But you look at his tenure with us, that's kind of how it's been. So hopefully now with this swing that I think he feels good with, it's a more manageable swing, a more consistent swing that we can sustain some positive at-bats, consistently, and not go in these swells that we've experienced in years past.
Speaking of bouncing back, Tanner Scott bounced back. What gave you the confidence to put him back in the exact same situation as last night, and what did you see that was different from last night?
Well, I think I've shown that I'm going to kind of continue to stick with guys and trust them and believe in them. And as long as they're doing their part, their work, and they're not losing confidence in themselves or ability, he takes really good care of himself. And I think in this particular instance, I think Connor McGinnis and Mark Pryor did a great job with some things that we kind of cleaned up mechanically that he really took to. And you saw tonight that the fastball had a lot more life. The slider, there was swing and miss to it, which we haven't really seen consistently. So Connor certainly deserves a lot of credit for that.
If it's kind of going forward from here with Kershaw, I'm guessing, right, that you would kind of bet on him as like a person. At the same time, right, the stuff is kind of the stuff. And as you kind of go forward from here, right, in terms of expectations, how do you kind of balance out again the, you know, knowing who the guy is and again just kind of seeing what he has right now at this stage of his career?
I think that I have to be realistic with kind of the miles and who he is right now, which I think is fair, and manage him accordingly, which gives the team the best chance to win in a particular night. You know, also baking in the fact that who's available, how much bullpen needs to be taken up or can take up or withstand on a particular night and not kind of bleed into the next games. But yeah, I do think that, you know, to expect him to go out there and go 6 or 7 innings each time, I don't think that's kind of what, you know, I think is expected of him. But I think for me, I think for Clayton, each start is going to be different. And I think you're going to approach each start he's going to approach each start to give us a chance to win. And I don't know what that looks like each start, but I think that, you know, that's a starting point. And then from at that point, as the game goes on, then I'm going to have to make decisions on, you know, what we have behind them. But like you said, I'm going to bet him. I think that there's something about his experience, him willing himself and our team to put us in a position to win. And right now, this is his 3rd start outside of that abbreviated start. So to expect him to be locked in after not pitching for quite some time, I think is unrealistic. So he's going to get some leash to kind of find his way. I don't expect that curveball to be like it was tonight. I do expect the slider to get better, as well as that fastball command.
Doc, where would you be, not just tonight in tonight's game, but this whole season without Ben Kasparius, and we forget him, he started game 4 of the World Series for you guys last year, and now he might be your best high leverage reliever.
I'd hate to think that, Michael, and we talked earlier, and he's kind of thrust himself into leverage, and we don't win this game tonight without Ben. And he pitched some big innings, kept us in the ball game. He's neutral, gets left and gets right out, resilient, durable. So yeah, I mean, he's had to grow up really quickly for us, and he's got the respect of his teammates, and he doesn't run from moments, which is really good to see from a young ball player.